There we are. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Doing some more loading here on a nice Saturday afternoon. It's almost 70 degrees out, but it's getting ready to rain. Seems like some prime tornado style weather. It's going to be really nice. But we've got us some caffeine here, some other consumables. Got to load up the primer tubes, and then we're going to continue on where we left off last night. Mr. Crash, howdy, brother man. How we doing? Mr. Jadkins, welcome aboard. How was work? You on your lunch break? Hope everybody's doing well. But we're just getting started here. And if you were with us when we stopped last night, we ran out of primers. We gotta refill our powder and so on and so forth. So, pardon me. Let's go ahead and start loading up some primer tubes. I'm gonna lower this so I can see what you're saying. I guess that's all we get. Anyways, YouTube, this is not a tutorial on how to do stuff. This is just me doing stuff. But yeah, gonna have some crappy weather, so can't really do much outside. I was just walking the dogs for a little bit before we get some rain. So that was nice, except the cement crew canceled on me this morning because, you know, can't really pour a cement pad when it's pouring rain. I hear that doesn't mix very well. Although it's in a barn, we don't have the overhead door. So no cement pad until next week. Yep. Not today. Work for yourself, actually. Own a wildlife removal business in southeastern Indiana. Oh, a Hoosier. A Hoosier are you there, sir? Interesting. Yeah, so anyways, time to crack open a new box there. Mag Tech number 7.5. I don't know how they come up with those numbers. Maybe it's like a military designation or a standard size or something. Or like a standard formula, I guess. Because I've seen pistol primers labeled as like 5s or 5.5s. Or there's another rifle primer that's 6.5 from Remington's, I think. And they have a 7.5, and it's a rifle primer. So I don't know what none of these dang numbers mean. I don't know what none of these dang numbers mean. Oops. Maybe that's the public school talking. Public education. They don't teach you about primer sizing specs. How are we supposed to know? It's kind of like somebody, whoever came out with the first 4350 powder, obviously that was a good number to pick because there's like 6 other companies that make a variation of the 4350. So there's that. So if there's any primer manufacturing wizards, what's up with that? Remington has a 7.5. That's a Ventress primer. See, that's what it says on the box. It says 7.5 BR, or Ventress, or whatever. But I don't know. It's just from what I can tell, a standard small rifle primer because they're 6.5. It's for like 40K pressure and below or something for like the 22 Hornet or some of those older 22 caliber cartridges from way back in the day. Pro tip when you're loading here, do your first priming tube. Go on now. Yeah, there. What's he stuck on? What are you doing, primer? Interesting. Well, now what the hell? How am I liking them so far? The 40 test rounds I shot all went bang. That was weird, it got stuck. The 40 test rounds I shot all went bang, so that's good. They feel a lot better when you're actually priming with them than, like, say, the Gen X that I complained about for the last 4 years. Those are all way over diameter, it seems. And I've heard a lot of people with similar experience. But I was just responding to someone on a comment from yesterday about this same topic. Yeah, I can actually recommend these. So they're a lot easier to work with. They feel like a CCI or a Remington or whatever. So to me, I'm cool with that. And right now, these are the cheapest small rifle primers coming in from anywhere that I've seen online. So, you know, I'm a frugal man. I'll buy whatever's cheapest if it works. And then if it works really well or it gets even cheaper, I'm going to buy more of them. So as I was responding in that other comment, I said, you can bet as soon as the price drops to 30 cents a thousand again, like, you know, pre-2020 or whatever, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of them when they hit $30 a box again. Because, you know, back in my day, you could get some, you could get a whole case of them for $150. Or whatever, you know, $30 a thousand. Them's pretty good numbers. So whatever manufacturer hits that price point first, I feel like a lot of people are going to say, hey, I remember that number. I'm going to go ahead and start buying again. But also a lot of people have been just stockpiling stuff over the last several years. And they're like not shooting because they don't want to replace it at the current higher cost. So they're going to wait until it gets way cheaper as well before they run through their expensive stockpile. Or they'll buy newer, cheaper stuff and hoard away the expensive, whatever they bought at a marked up price, they'll hoard those because they have a higher perceived value because it took more green dollary dues. Sorry, green beanie weenies. There's no dollars here, nothing's for sale. But because someone pays more for something, you know, they perceive it with a higher value. Know what I'm saying? Oh, good enough for me. Yep, they're very nice. The Gen X work well, but the cups are super soft and flat and easy in your experience. Huh. Republic has some Russian Merman 4 cents. I love those. See, I've never tried those, but I think I've heard from you and a couple others that they generally have good experience. So for the price point, I think the Mermans you're talking about and the Magtecs here are both right at the 4 cent mark these days, 4 to 5 cents. I saw a Winchester small pistol at 4 cents. Just searching around the web. Because I like to watch the market. Because with all these primers being cheap, that means, you know, ammo is also getting cheap because they can't sell the ammo and they're not using the primers to produce more factory ammo or taking on more military contracts or whatever they would originally have designated that production for. So all the excess will go to the consumer reloading market, which is the very bottom of the totem pole they don't care about at all. So we get whatever's left in the market. Long story short, there's about to be a lot of excess in the bottom of the totem pole. Also, I don't know where this one priming tube came from that I have, but I freaking hate it. It's like from the 80s or something. It's a different plastic and it's really tight compared to my newer production primer picky uppy tube. So this one's really hard to pick up primers with, man. It hurts my fingers after a while. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, sorry, done rambling there. Have to pay more attention when I prime with the Gen X and C. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, pretty much, I've used the small rifle, small pistol, and large pistol. I haven't used their large rifles, but all of them were harder to seat because they seemed a little fatter and over diameter and whatnot. And that's really annoying when you're on a progressive press. Yeah, you guys doing any shooting this weekend? Going out tomorrow? You loading up stuff today? Just doing some brass prep, some casting. I'm just going to continue to fill this juggie here. AR has, oh shoot, falling out the wrong side, has some Russian factory seconds. I saw those listed. I forget what brand it was, but I'm confused how you get a a seconds primer. You know, are they cosmetically different? Like they didn't get the right color of nickel plating or something? Sometimes they list in the descriptions like these are harder cups. They may require a second strike, or you'll have an X% failure rate or whatever built into the cost. But some of them just say seconds, like in dirty ass box or something. So maybe they just found an old pallet in a warehouse from 10 years ago. And they'll still go bang, but they're not pretty, so that's my guess. It's weird how people hoard things away, and then they start to pop out at random times. It's like, oh, where'd that come from? Were they importing those again? No, just old Dick Bob from the gun show. He's been hoarding them in his hidey hole for the last 38 years, and he's got these old primers, but now they're slightly aged or something silly, or like I've seen a lot of like cosmetic blem bullets or something where they're just like slightly tarnished from aging or oxidation or whatever. They still shoot just as fine, and you can actually tumble them, so they're purty again. Okay, well, I ran out of tubes, but we'll just have to not knock that off the counter, right? Mr. Royal, sir, 707. What's up, sir? How we doing? Good evening. Good afternoon. Just got some 220 TMGs. Gonna make some sneaky breaky 300 blackout. Heck yeah, brother. Quick range trip yesterday. Tested the 1911. Rented a finished reamer and took. Oh yeah, you said you were reaming out a pistol barrel. That's interesting. I wouldn't. I guess if you had got to use a lathe or something to keep it all centered up. Maybe. I don't. I really know absolutely nothing about machining. I know absolutely nothing about machining, but that seems like some shit I should know about. But I went to public school, and we didn't have workshop. By the time I got there, we had technical education where we got like the first Gen 1 CAD software to run through, and it was all super technologically advanced instead of doing stupid woodworking or like mechanics or machining or any stuff like that. They don't teach that anymore, and I was the first generation to get skipped on it, and it pisses me off. Anyways, here we have the MP427 like accurate 2230 powder. I found a load that works for me, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's irrelevant since nobody will ever have this same powder again, never. But it is, in fact, a pull down from our favorite demilitarized component consumable store. Get in there. Yeah. Got to top off our sinkers. Let's move these primies. We got to top off our sinkers. We have the mixed 50. I'm going to move this coffee before I get a bunch of shit in it. There. Move this stool before I trip and spill my coffee everywhere. Anyways, we have the mixed pulled 55 grain sinkers. Yes, sir. Not a finish reamer. It had a pilot, so I did it by hand. More of a hand drill and safety squints kind of guy. Couple turns assemble, couple turns. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if you're just doing the finishing work, I guess you want to creep up on it and barely work up to it and hit your mark instead of blowing by it. Now I'll just empty the box. Get out of there. They fit, yay. If you guys haven't seen, there's a really good gunsmithing channel. The Quarter Minute Magnum, I think it is what it is, QMM. He's a really awesome gunsmith. Call me crazy, but a couple look like 62 grainers. That's what the box says, but I actually went through and sorted them, and there are some with some longer boat tails, but I definitely pulled out the 6 62 grainers that were in the entire box. Like, see this boat taily sinker here on the right looks longer, and the cannular is at a different spot. So, some of them look funky. Some of them have almost a flat base. Some of them, wow, going for a ride. I appreciate the, let's come back up here. Sorry. But yeah, they sold them as mixed, and there were, I think, 6 or 7 total in there, so that's pretty funny. And I would rather have the 55s than the 62s because that's what I shoot more of. Makes sense? Yes, okay. And we got just, where we at? Can we rotate? Need to refill the brass. We got plenty of brass here ready to go. Well, the top bucket is prepped and ready. The second bucket needs sized and reamed and all that crap. That's going to really suck and take a lot of time. And yeah, I can't show you what's going on, but you can see probably that much. You can see them trickle out into the container there. Yeah. I need a can of compressed air to clean all this crap up too, but top off the brass. We'll check our powder. Excuse me. Too much. Too much. There we go. Okay. We're just going to do one for now so we can measure our powder. Make sure our scale is zeroed. And if you've never seen these Magtechs, they have these crazy little V, whatever the hell that is, stamped in them. Gotta run check the smoker, perhaps some sides for supper. Woo! That sounds awesome, dude. Have fun. Have fun. Have a good weekend. Yeah, so crazy little head stamp on the primer. Anyways, it's nice and seated there. Let's check our powder, which I'm not going to tell you because it's irrelevant. That one looks heavy on that scale. Let's try again on this scale and see if it's also heavy. Sometimes the first pour, it's been settling longer, so more of it could have compressed in overnight and humidity changes and so on and so forth, all the things. 1,000 reasons, but this is why we check every time we leave the press. Yeah, wow, that's a half a grain high. But we'll try again. I bet this one will be where I want it to be. And yeah, that one is dead on. So be careful of that, fellers, even if you're using the pistol powder with like 5 grains and it somehow dumps an extra half a grain in there. Be careful. Something about packing. Interesting. I don't know, but they're easily identifiable, I guess. I've never bought them because they're silly expensive, but the Federal AR gold medal match or whatever, they have some little, some kind of something stamped into the cup as well. All right, so I throw that powder back into the hopper and we'll just go again since I've got a case now on stage 1. Still too much brass, apparently. We're overflowing. And since I've got like 10 different profiles of projectiles here, I found an overall length, or rather, I didn't have to adjust my seating stem at all from the berries I was loading. And all of those are between like 2.22 and like 2.25. 2, yeah. So there's a little variance in the overall length, but not enough to matter. Especially because they're pulled and probably a little, disfigured. And some of them, again, they're like more of a VLD style, so they'll be longer. Some of them more of a flat base. Okay, that's our first one. We got some powder in there. Give it a little shake test. And you can see our crappy factory crimp die to make sure everything's not going to move around when we're doing the silly binary, fully binary actions, right? Question. Ever have bullets with fatter bases than the rest of the bearing surface? Found out you have 3K you can't load due to that. Thinking of buying a 1 or 2 thou smaller bullet sizer. Yep, you can definitely resize them and uniform that. I have no doubt about that. What were they? That's interesting. Maybe that's why they were a blem or a second. Maybe they didn't form properly. Although I'm gonna bet even when you size them and straighten them out, that extra weight will go to one side instead of the other a little bit. So it might not be like perfectly concentric, but it'll at least be of diameter. So don't expect any insane accuracy or anything like that. But they will probably feed and load a lot better at the proper diameter. Where did our daggone ammo checker go? Did we test our round? Where'd our ammo checker go? Anyways, let's see the overall length here of this guy. Yeah, 2.2, almost 4. Quantity says they want theirs at 2.222222222. Some are just 2.26 at mag length. Where's the damn? That's 300 blackout. That's 308. Well, shucks. I'm either blind or it's gone. Or I set some other crap on top of it. There we go. Case gauge. Plank. Oh yeah, there it is. Blah, 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 blah. American Reloading SRP are Swiss, made by Ruag. Oh, are those the ones that are on? Yeah, the... Interesting. Isn't Ruag actually Norma? They just said, like, that's the American branch or something? I'm not sure. Oh, no. Sadly, they're RMR, and they sold as first when I see them. The base essentially acts as a sizable and stretches the neck. Holy crap. That's a lot of variation in the base of your bullets there. I would say go and get the, I think it might be 15 or 20 bucks. Get the Lee sizer, the 224 or 225. Or, yeah, get the 224 sizer, and then you can ream it out a little bit with some sandpaper or something if you want to expand that to 225 maybe. 69 grain boat tail hollow points. That sucks. That's sucky. Ooh, case gauge. Yes, very nice. Anyways, got to make sure it works. Woo. And we stepped away from the press, so let's double check. We have some powder. Definitely some balls in there. Definitely some balls in there. I guess we can check out our second round too. I don't remember which is which, but pretty sure those are different bullet profiles. Oh well. This is just for spam cannon when you got your dude bros over. Or, you know, in my backyard, I'm only shooting at 50 yards, so I don't need 69 grain bolt tail hollow point accuracy. I can run mixed 55 grain, hold second blend, ugly, reject, out of whack, silly stuff. Or more realistically, I just cast and shoot 9mm and 300 blackout for cheaper than jacketed. If that makes any sense. Load notes for a bolt or a gas gun. Sir, this is for the ARF team. I did a quick little ladder load. Just to figure out where a couple different other uppers would cycle and how they, how they liked those loads. And now I'm loading all that I can with all the powder I have till I'm out of components, which is probably going to be brass first, which is unfortunate because then that means I got to prep a lot of brass. And brass prep is easily the worst part of reloading. If anyone tells you different, they're lying to you. Ooh, they're good for what you need them for. The problem is you already loaded 1,000. Ooh, that hurts. I feel that burn. I've had to do that before. Not to that extent, but yeah. Yeah. Hey, maybe you can call up AR or CDVS and be like, hey, you want to pull down this lot of ammo here? I can demill it and sell the components. That'd be funny. But if you know what powder it is, you can obviously salvage that and reuse it. You know that your cases are good and you primed them. And all you'd have to do is use an exciser and then reseat bullets, and you would be good to go. But that's a tough lesson learned there, unfortunately. I probably have a bag of 9mm, probably like 300 or 400 rounds of some cast 9mm loads I had done, but they were sized all wonky and they weren't really feeding into the chamber I was shooting them through, and so that just leaded up that gun real ugly and gross like, so I haven't touched any of that ammo in a while. So I've got all that to either just blow through and deal with the leading, or pull it and salvage what I can and just melt down all those bullets. Still loading? No, we restarted, sir. Still awake? No, I slept for a little bit. I did a little bit of sleeping. Let me lock that down so we don't go spinning. How are you today, sir? Yep, big lesson, but all good. Yep, and it's like if you're not in a hurry to get those components back, you can just kind of passively do it. Like if you have a couple different presses, maybe even the tiny little $40 Lee C-frame, you can just get a bullet puller, call it system, and just have that one little press kind of dedicated to that whenever you want to go and work on that project. And then you can have that one press there for, strictly decapping or maybe swaging or, whatever, bullet sizing. So if your workspace permits, an extra little press or station for prepping or various activities is always good. Speaking of workspace, they freaking canceled on me today for pouring the cement, so gotta wait until next week when it's not raining, even though it's gonna rain for about the next 7 days. So that's no bueno. It's very unbueno. Unbueno. Your arm hurts from all the reloading. Yeah, what'd you say you did? 3,000? That's a lot of cranking there, brother. A lot of that, you know what I'm saying? You must have seen my bench, precisely what I have in our CBS partner with the collar puller. Ha! That's freaking perfect, dude. It's not that I've seen your bench, it's that great minds think alike, am I right? You know what I'm saying? Or obviously I was given that advice from someone else and I'm just passing it along, so you already knew. You're obviously a 200 IQ genius, so I don't need to tell you. But anyways, it's nice to have an extra little press to work on. Powder check. Just gotta do random spot checks. Oh no, it's over by 1/10 of a grain. Nope, it settled back down. Yay. Good thing I have my Charge Master sitting there so I can just use it as a scale and not actually have it pouring charges. Wow. To be fair, I probably learned it from you. Well, sir, I can't take credit. I didn't make it up. I was just, what do they call it? Passing it down the line or whatever. That one doesn't look very well swaged and or reamed. Let's see how she seats here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Feeling toy. Okay, there we go. Mystery federal case. Yeah. Yeah, that one didn't get much of a ream job, but I think this is twice fired. So if I just cram the last primer in, I think we've opened it up enough due to fatigue. Although I guess the case hardens over time, so that doesn't make any sense. But your primer pockets do loosen and they don't spring back. So maybe with repeat firings, I loosened up that one piece. Or I just barely swaged it out. I don't know. Just rambling. Wish I could go out and shoot though, but it's gonna be crappy. And I hate loading magazines. I need to spend like an hour loading magazines so I can just step out back when I want to and fire some off. Wow. And that's another reason I'm liking 22 LR lately, because I don't have to worry about picking up brass. So I don't have to carry like an extra bucket of my brass catcher or forgo that and just have to pick it up. Ooh, man, these federal cases, maybe I did not swage and or ring them. Huh. Whatever. They're just very tight still, which is not an issue. Just got to make sure we're seating completely straight up and down there. So it's been a productive last 2 weeks here lately. It's been a productive last 2 weeks here lately. Not me personally, but well, yeah, I guess. Actually, yeah, I've been quite productive lately. But I mean on a larger scale. Things nationally have been very productive, you know. Except that whole, let's go take over some part of the desert that doesn't fucking matter to us and waste our dollars and people. Aside from all that, we've been quite productive, right? I don't see how America First starts in the desert 20,000 miles away. But I'm a silly white boy and don't know any better. Maybe I don't see the bigger picture. Need a bigger workbench. Maybe when I finish working on your bikes, you'll make the garage a reloading room. I just want things to cool down so the powder prices drop from orbit. Too bad, sir. The forecast for this year, oopsie. The forecast for powder this year is less nitrocellulose coming into the system because China is like the main producer, like 90% of the world of nitrocellulose, and they don't sell to people who end up selling or manufacturing for NATO or the United States. So the small amount that does get produced by NATO countries or whoever can get it to the manufacturers that make it for Hodgdon. Their prices have gone up and there's less. So less Hodgdon powders being introduced to the market, which include, damn it, there's a box of brass right there, watch out. So Hodgdon, IMR, Winchester, Accurate, Ramshot, all of those you're going to see less on the shelves, or you'll see more because it'll be more expensive. No one will be buying it. So that's going to happen. However, Vitavori powders, they produce their own nitrocellulose for themselves. So that's pretty cool. And since Hodgdon came up, Vitavori doesn't have to. They're now the same damn price for their, like, you know, 540 powder versus Varget or whatever. You can have the far superior Vitavori for the same price. It's quite a silly time we're in. You know, an 8-pound jug of tack is almost $300 these days. That's silly. A ball powder. They used to be like 175, 150, 80 bucks, something like that. Stuff is silly. Got 2 pounds of 1680, 35 a pound. See, unfortunately, I keep hitting this box because I talk like with my hands like an idiot. But $35 a pound is pretty reasonable these days. So that sounds nice. What are you using that for? 300 black them out? Powder jack since I stopped and rambled. Perfect. Look at that. It's almost like Dylan makes the best powder measure in the reloading space or something. Who knew? Go Team Blue if you're not. Not an endorsement, just a personal opinion, right? No, it used to be $15. Right, yeah, it used to be $15. Now we're at $35. So, and still compared to like rifle powders, since I guess 1680 is still like a Magnum pistol powder or something. It's in a different burn rate, speed or whatever of the chart, and it's less popular. But like a similar ball powder like TAC or BLC2 or H335, CFE, right, 223. All those are like $45 a pound or something silly. Probably $50 at Bass Pro Shops or any of those big box stores that can charge more. Why can they charge more? I don't know actually why they get to charge more. They probably have to charge more because they have larger overhead, but they probably get a better bulk discount, so they get it for cheaper. I don't know. I'm not an economist. But I do firmly believe that if the IRS thinks any of us are going to pay taxes this year, they're going to have to stop giving our money to stuff like USAID. Yeah, up to 60 for Varget and Benchmark. Yeah, that's just crazy to me. And I know there's like within the reloading, spectrum, the reloading spectrum of people reloading, you've got this small group of people that are competition shooters. So all your PRS and bench rest guys, they're still going to be buying their H4350 and their Varget for $60 to $65, $70 a pound, because that's what they use and that's what they compete with, right? So there's still a built-in crowd that's going to pay the price no matter what. But I guess we're going to have to see, because that small section of the reloading world can't support the entire powder market, especially when people like us, budget-minded folk, we look out for pulled powders where you have to perhaps work up your own load, do a little research and little testing and experimentation and whatnot. If you're willing to do that, you can get it for half price. Wow, incredible. Actually, it's way less than half price. If we call this, it says it's like accurate 22.30, and we can call that like probably $40 a pound. So 40 times 8 pounds is, math is hard, $320. And from old AR, that was $130. So if you're willing to shop around and work with an unknown powder and make your own recipes and you understand the risks in that, there's still money to be saved, but it's harder and you got to work for it and whatever. You know. But there's also this whole other thing where, yes, Trump, legendary president, pretty good so far. The only complaint is the Israel shit. We can just get away from that. Very good. Very good, yes. But yeah, like if he shutdowns pretty much all the conflicts, if the Ukraine thing stops, all the powder manufacturing isn't going to be going to 20 millimeter mortar cannon tubes and stuff like that. Those production lines and that nitrocellulose is going to go back into the commercial and public realm of ammo and reloading and stuff again. So, you know. So when all that stuff ends, because he will put an end to that, I'm pretty certain this summer we're going to see a massive drop in ammunition and components. So the whole 10-minute rant I just did about no availability of powder hopefully is a lie, and we're going to see the cheapest stuff we've seen in, like, since, the first Trump slump or whatever. Someone yesterday was saying they were buying 5,000 pistol primers for $79. We just might see that again this summer. And you're gonna know I'm gonna be swimming in some primers. So just hold on just a little bit, and I think we're gonna see a big drop in all the prices, and we'll see a big rise in availability. Still batting a 990. Yep, like I said, everything except pretty much anything to do with Israel. But we can't talk about that because you get banned. But yep, he's doing pretty good so far. We need more U.S. manufacturers for powder and primer. funny thing, have you heard of the White River energetics large rifle primers that just showed up on the market maybe 6 months ago to a year? They've been kind of trickling in slowly. That company, White River Energetics, isn't in the primer manufacturing industry. They're in the business of building primer manufacturing facilities. So they can build you a primer manufacturing plant. They can give you the manual, and it's all turnkey, and they say hire these people with these credentials. Here's the manual to create the components. All you got to do is have an availability of the components, and here's your primer factory. That's what White River Energetics does. They're not in the business of producing primers. They're in the business of producing primer manufacturing facilities. Long story short, they're creating their own powders as well. So they're going to say, hey, Dick Bob, give us 150 million bucks, and we'll give you a facility here in 3 years from now with everything you need to create Dick Bob's ball powder. So, them and a couple others, I believe I've heard 3 to 5 other facilities already being built. Uh-oh. Fuck! Missed one. Primal fell out. Or I missed it and we have a freaking squib somewhere. What did I do? That one's missing. What did I freaking do? There's no powder there. That would have been the squib. I gotta quit talking on the internet when I'm reloading ammo. What an idiot. It's a primer sheet, but not powder. Hopefully both cheap. But yeah, primer's definitely cheap. Powder. What an idiot. So that one has no primer. That one has no powder or bullet. I'm going to set these aside. I'm pretty sure I do this probably once every 3 streams. Let's check this guy for powder. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I get for trying to read the chat. Someone should clip this and upload it to their channel and say, don't be a fucking retard while you reload. Okay, everything on the press is where it needs to be. There's the case with no powder. So I don't think I loaded a squib. I just totally skipped twice. What an idiot. Mr. CW Longshot, good afternoon, sir. How we doing? You just joined at the right time. I did see AAC say that when they started to build their plants that everyone was lost on where to start with the paperwork because the new plant hadn't been built since the 60s. Yep, so now WRE is in the business of teaching people how to do that. So that's funny. Crash says we gotta get you doing some lives as well, Mr. CW. Well, does Mr. Crash know that CW's on the old, the Georgia shooting connection? Which I need to try to get on here someday soon. Okay, I'm pretty sure there's no squib in here. I'm going to do a quick dummy check, but all I got to do is shake and hear the powder. Thankfully, I'm not at, uh-oh. Yeah, that one didn't have shit in it. So good thing I just didn't load all 2,000 of these and then realize I had a squib, and then I'd have to check all these and or pull them like Crash was just saying. After you load 1,000 of something. There is a lot of powder sitting in this tub though. I'm sure this is highly entertaining. Feel free to click away if all this is annoying. Or maybe it, oh, weird, look, no, oh, so this, what the hell happened here? Did this bullet come unseated? The plot thickens. I have no idea what's going on here, folks. Oh, there's a lot of powder in this container here. I'm going to say there's roughly 24 or so grains floating around. Almost done. Perfect. Yeah, look at all the angry sand we found. Look at that. Of course, I never miss a week of the good old GSC. That's good. I try to tune in sometimes, but I'm usually like doing dinner and busy and running around, so I try and listen at least in the background. Sorry for jinxing you. It's not your fault. I'm literally a dummy. It's in my name. I'm painting actual jigs cast last night. Very nice. Equally boring? Nah. Well, I guess the time between waiting while they're cooking. Anyways, let me try and measure this. Aside from some of the corncob media and maybe some brass flakes, I wonder if it's the right powder charge. Obviously, there's some more investigating to be done there. One of these days I'm not going to catch it though, and hopefully don't blow anything up, but could be very bad. Oh, wow. Look at that on the scale. We only lost 1/10 of powder somewhere. Mr. Thorzax, welcome back. You just missed another one. Missed another squib in progress. But I don't know how this happened. There's a crimp. You can see the factory crimp. But the bullet's not seated. Maybe I didn't even run it up. That's what I did. So there's one with no primer, and it's leaking powder everywhere. And that's almost a full case. So that must have been the first one because it didn't get a primer. It came around. I was still retarded. This one got primed and no powder, and then I seated a bullet and didn't run the handle index, and that one got crimped, and then this one didn't get powder at some point in that process. What a moron. If you can learn anything from my dumb ass, it's don't be distracted while you're reloading. Hate dealing with reloading issues. Had to sort 1K 9mm that had some undersized bullet, and they were getting set back with, ooh, that sucks. I've heard of that issue. That's why I don't want to ever buy the blemished or pulled pistol projectiles. But I have measured, you know, I grabbed a handful of these and measured them, and they're all at least 224 or whatever. And then we do the heavy factory crimp to hopefully prevent any setback or anything like that. I've had it happen one brand of brass and the pockets were blown out. Yeah, I've had some like that too, where I found the primer sitting in the, you know, the bin there. And good, we just integrated all of the supposedly not tainted ammo. What a moron. I ran into that with blazer brass. Bought a Lee undersized full-length die. Never had an issue and solved it since. Huh. Is that their carbide sizing die you're talking about? Okay. We're going to dump this powder back in the hopper. That scale is clear. That scale is clear. I've got one here on stage 4 ready to be crimped. I'm going to check him again to make sure that it has powder. Passes the shake test. Stage 3, where we're seating in next bullet, we have powder in this case. Perfect. Stage 2 should be primed with no powder. Perfect. Stage 1 shouldn't be primed or anything. Most excellent. Okay. Now, I'm going to check our powder drop here. And we should be smooth sailing here. Once again. Listen, I'm doing some housework over here. May not be able to read otherwise. Well, you have fun cleaning up around the house, sir. I need to do that too. I got the laundry and the dishwasher running, so I'm doing this here for a little while. They call it their U-die, shrinks down to actual SAMI size, tightens the grip on the bullet, and keeps it all from moving. That's nice. Is that, so they have the sizing die that decaps in full-length sizes, but then they have the factory crimp carbide die with the other sleeve, and that goes down the whole diameter as well. Is that what you're saying? The carbide crimp die or the carbide sizing die? You're probably being more specific, and I'm just reading it like an idiot, but... Okay. We'll check our crimp here. Yes, this looks like a thing. A shake, it has powder. We can do the plunker test. Very good. I think we're safe here, folks. We avoided catastrophe. Not by a large margin, but it was in fact avoided. Yep, just gonna be careful and check for the next few. There we are. Visual inspection, there's some powder. Good work. Oh yeah. Paying attention is hard. Can't wait till they take all the rest of the poison out of our food supply and our brains will function like normal. Who am I kidding? There's so much calcification and fluoride stuck up there, I'll never get cleared out. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh God, it's running so smooth, I better not screw it up. Carbide full length sizing die, and it's smaller than normal result. Okay. Did he run out of powder? Nope, I've never ran out of powder, but I seem to have, it seems like several things happened. It didn't prime one case. This case doesn't have powder. And this one, no, sorry. This one didn't get a bullet seated on it. So it was sitting in the tub. This one has no primer, so it was leaking powder. And this one is primed and seated, but no powder inside when you shake it. So there's a magnitude of retardation happening here that we just need to be aware of. This is not advice. Don't take what I do as how to do it. I would say this is what works for me, but obviously it's questionable as to whether or not it's actually working. Wow, it's just so smooth when you do it properly. I am going to reuse this case that has a primer in it. No powder. Brand new primer. So we'll go ahead and just index him on over. And he'll go in the next slot. Visual inspection for powder there. Very nice. He just got primed. He's getting cramped. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. What do you think on the factory cramp die? It's probably a little heavy, but you can see how differently they're all trimmed, or how much variance we have in the overall length of our case. So you can see that one's got a lot more crimp lower down than that one or that one. That's just based on the case length. So that's why I like the factory crimp die compared to a taper crimp, because it'll work regardless of your trim length. These go down to 222 all the way to 2245. One was 225. And slow down, double check for powder in that case. We indexed. Very good. Very good. We're all learning together. We're all learning together. Sometimes you have to change the plastic tip at the bottom of the primer feed tube. Once it gets damaged, you start having missed primers. Yep, I need to. I've been talking about having to do maintenance on this press forever, but the arm here sometimes doesn't. I'll run it a couple times here, and maybe we can see. So when I'm coming forward, sometimes it doesn't feel fully concentric with this base plate, so I'll have to kind of center that manually, and then it just slides right in. And then double check for powder. When I come up, it might not come all the way back. It gets sort of hung up on something. So we'll come up, and then sometimes it'll stop about here, and then I'll have to just pull on it. So if I don't notice that, it will come back without a primer. So I need to pull all this apart and get it cleaned down and all that fun stuff. So I believe that's how I missed the primer. I need to maintain my machine better so that it functions as it should. Okay. Got powder dropped. I just have to be more aware every time I stop to come and read. I have to, I'll check. Gotta check for powder. Seeing the crap I've been going through with my bullets, I'd say the crimp is perfect. Did you try the factory crimp dye on yours? I know you said it kind of expanded the case as the base of the bullet went in. Did you try to crimp back down on that? Or if it's for a bolt action, obviously you don't need to crimp, so you wouldn't have. Wow, you can really crank them out when you shut up and actually reload. A little heavy for me, but won't hurt anything. Yeah, they're already pulled and ugly, and I'm not super worried about it. But maybe just a little on the tight side. You're not wrong. One day I'll be fancy and go Team Blue. Sir, I believe you will be satisfied whenever you do. The primer feed slide bar. I stone mine smooth so it won't collect burnt primer crap. Something I had to do because the factory finish was so rough. Yours might be fine. Oh yeah, no matter how loose or tight, same result. The necks were just stretched and done for after seating. Good news is it can all be recovered. Yep. All you gotta do is resize them back. If you once you pull them apart, that is. Okay. Check for the powder. Good. Seated. Crimp. Done. Yeah, if I were loading for a bolt action, I would not be doing the factory crimp. But this is for my, you know, bulk volume spam stuff that achieves accuracy by volume, you know. Volley fire, if you will. You line up a mile wide, 1 deep. And then you fire across at the other line of people, a mile wide and single file deep. That's what we're going for here. Yeah, see that? Sometimes it feels like the primer cup isn't just perfectly seated in the ram. But I think if I'm honest, when I moved like one of the last 5 times, this might have got thrown around a bit. So maybe the ram kind of got jostled or something. So it might not be like perfectly running as it should. I've never greased any of the joints or any of that, so that's also a thing. Check the powder. Okay. Got an RCBS single stage press I have to set up to swage. Heck yeah. I just used the reamer method. Just let me cut the material out. I'm not too worried about it. And these are all actually twice fired. So once from whoever, and then I picked them up, and then I've processed and shot them once, and now this is their third loading. And you can see I ream all mine out. No issues for the most part. I'm sure you could get an extra couple firings. With swaging, if you were running at max pressures or whatever. But these should be pretty low pressure. Did I do it again? I did, didn't I? Son of a bitch. That one didn't have powder. Ha! Remove them. Back up. That one did not seat on there. So now all I gotta do is find the one that didn't crimp. Jesus Christ. It seems like I either need to reload or talk, not both of them. You fill up your ammo can, and when someone asks how much you have there, you can say, honestly, I don't know. It really is. Like, I'm not going to take this whole thing out to the range, but I'll probably dump some in a Ziploc or a small ammo can or whatever. So there's going to be wine here without a crimp on it, and that'll be easy to figure out which one we didn't screw up. Wow. That crimp looks ugly. Maybe we should just go to case prep. That's not dangerous on camera. Neither is this. You just have to not be a fucking idiot. Uh-huh. Well, I haven't seen one yet. Oh, I hear gunfire outside. Well, where the hell is it? Maybe this guy. But they all have powder. That's frustrating. Pay attention. Yeah, I agree. Pay attention. Okay, no more cases hiding in there. I do agree. Pay attention. Pay attention to what? The phone or the reloading? What a moron. All right. It's YouTube's fault because I can't put the damn camera in a way that I can read it and kind of, yeah, whatever. It's my fault. There's no excuse. Have you fired that powder for a function test? You said you were comparing it to 2230. So I have shot about 40 rounds, I believe, was my little test and ladder between a couple different uppers. It was really clean. But as far as comparing it to 2230, I did not compare velocity, but I was able to get almost 1.5 grains higher before I saw any pressure signs. So I believe this is a slower burning powder than 2230. I do believe so. All right. Let's see if we can arrange this a little better. You know, back when I bought some of those Bob's bullets and 55 grand, they shot really good, got them really cheap. Yes, sir. I remember the Bob's bullets craze. I never got any, but heard a lot of people had luck with them, and then they jacked up the price, and then I never got any of them. So, oh, don't knock the tripod over. Trying to figure out where I can set this up to be able to read it better. Probably not like that, but I'll try it. Oh, don't for a ride. Whoa, tripod. Okay, so you can still see, I guess that is what you can see. There. What an exciting stream here, folks. Ugh, sorry. Okay, whatever. That's all you get. But now I don't have to move so much to read. Okay, a half powder. Stage 1 is blank like it should be. Stage 2, no powder. With primer, ready to go. Okay. This game is not this hard. But we're making it harder than it should be. Okay. If you learn anything, it's that I'm actually a dummy IRL. Back to your comment about the primer bar, though, I should probably hone some of that stuff out. Maybe my shell plates, too. Maybe whenever I get all the crap moved over when the barn is finished, I will do some much needed TLC on some of my equipment. Get it back running up to full speed. Also, another rule to implement when you step away from the press. Wow. I'm going to say do it with the handle in the raised position. Yeah, leave it in the raised position so I know that it's currently getting powder seated and all of that. So when I come back, there's no question to if it just happened or not. I'll have to manually lower it, and I know that it performed its task. Pardon me, excuse me. Anyways, that means more primers, which means more brass. We might as well just top this off. We don't have a whole lot left there. Okay, got that. Well, go ahead and I guess we should spot check some of these loaded rounds here just to make sure we haven't drifted. It would be nice to have a teleprompter so you can hook up and scan what people write. Yeah, that's the goal here. Whenever I get, you might not have been in yet yesterday when I was talking about it, but I'm going to have my whole reloading room set up pretty much with, eventually, someday, you know, different cameras and microphones and stuff set up. So I can be at different stations and have a more better streaming setup, but also have a monitor that I can read the chat from instead of having to come stare at my phone. I'll have actual cameras running to a computer, similar to how I run the Twitch chat sometimes, but you know, actual better quality. Let's have some coffee. Doesn't it say coffee in the title of the stream somewhere? 86 minutes. It's kind of cold by now. That'll be okay. Mr. Akira, you have a wonderful day. Go eat some of them freedom seeds you just loaded up. Go enjoy yourself. Ooh, you should shoot some tight groups like Crash says, but also show me a video with your FRT. I want to see what that's like in a 9mm PCC. That sounds like fun. Okay. Powder. Crimped. This one is seated. See, I did it again. I moved away without the press in the raised position. So we have to double check. Anyways, anybody else going to do any shooting this weekend? It's supposed to be raining right now, so I'm not. But I don't think it's actually raining. The weatherman lied. The meteorologist was full of it. I should have chosen that as a career path. Well, today there's a 50% chance of precipitation. And you can literally say that every single day and you'll never be wrong. You'll never be wrong. Unless you control all the cloud seeding and the geoengineering and the HARP rays and the energy transfer, and you can cause rain, then it would be a higher percent chance than 50, and I would be wrong, but it'd be a good easy guess to just start there, right? It'd be a good place to start. Just went earlier. It wasn't my best day, but still had fun. Going back for rifle tomorrow. Heck yeah. Do you scavenge up all the brass and collect things when you go to the range? that was part of the fun of going to the range for me. Digging up in the berm and collecting some brass. And there for a while it was pretty competitive when there was no brass to be had. There were some vultures at the range that would just hang out to do that. But I'm pretty sure that's died down. I've actually not been to my range that I'm a member of in a long time. Okay, handle's in the raised position. So I know the function has been done. Do yourself a favor, set it up for 220 volt, get that out of the way, and set it up for a cheap propane generator. There's one down there, so just gets up. You're probably smart. It's probably what needs to happen. Definitely going to do the generator part. Definitely getting the Jenny. Double check for powder. Good job. Yep, there it is. I say good job like it's a miracle. I wasn't expecting it to happen. Wow, you really surprised yourself there. Of course, if it is in the bucket, I go full golem on the precious brass. Yes, my precious. That's what I'm talking about. But that's part of the fun. You get to see your collection of shiny stuff get larger. And part of the other stuff that's fun is when you collect maybe like 50 pieces of a rifle brass that you don't have a rifle for. Then all of a sudden you start thinking, man, I could, maybe I could use this brass. Maybe if I get a rifle, I can put this brass to use. So you'll probably end up with more firearms just because you found some brass that you didn't currently use at the time. All you need is 20 amp service. It'll be okay. Yeah, well, eventually I would like to, like I'm going to have, when it's running, not apocalypse scenario, but it'll be, you know, workshop with all the saws and bowl craft and drill press and maybe someday a little tiny mini lathe or something. So I'll have enough, you know, I'm pretty much a retard when it comes to talking about electricity, but I'll have an ample system to handle all of that stuff. And then eventually have the generator to at least power the lights and, you know, small appliances or whatever. If there were some sort of failure with that. But that might be a little while from now. I feel like that is not going to be a cheap upgrade. Got 60 pounds of 9 brass alone. That's quite significant. More than enough to almost fill the powder and primers I got. Well, that's good. I don't want to say that's what I'm doing with this right here, but since like last summer I've been collecting all these cheap projectiles and stuff from good old AR. And since I finally got a couple jugs of the powder, it was time to load up what was on hand. So I just did I've got 3 gallons of brass in the orange bucket here. So I've prepped all that. And then when I run out, I've got 5 more gallons below that actually need sized and prepped. So that's when the loading will stop and the prep will begin again. Yep. That's how the gun collection builds. Start with brass you don't have for a rifle. You say you have to wait up for that. Yep. That's how you ended up with 300 blackout. Did you just pick up 300 blackout brass, or did you find enough 223 that you could convert, and then you were like, oh, this is pretty much free, aside from the projectile? Let's double check that case just for safety. Yes, sir. Good job again. Golden star for the day. Just kidding. Catastrophic failure was avoided. Yeah. I haven't done any videos in a really long time, but I'm back in the 350 legend game, brothers. I don't know if I ever said anything about that. Picked up a Howa 1500 chambered in 350 legend. Sorry, 300 legend. What an idiot. What would that be, like the 30 Herod or something? Spot check. Whoop. Both. He saw 300 blackout and said, huh, maybe I should. Definitely should. Look at that. 225 on the money. Oh. Maybe a 30 carbine on steroids. Yeah, it's pretty much the 35 carbine. That's what the 350 legend is. It's a 35 carbine. Powder check. Yes, sir. Okay. You want to see a 30 carbine on steroids, you get the 40 carbine. That's the 400 legend. The 400 legend. I have absolutely no desire at all. No desire at all for the 400 legend. I do have random 40 cal projectiles I got in a trade, but other than that, I don't shoot anything in the 40 caliber, caliber. So 400 legend to me, it would be hard to get into, hard to justify. I don't have any molds for it. The brass, I'm pretty sure, is proprietary. It's its own thing, so I can't make it out of anything else. I probably have, suitable powder and primers. But no projectiles, no brass, no similar overlapping parts. So no redundancies. It would just be out on its own island there. So that's the kind of stuff that goes into my brain when I think about a new cartridge. What kind of overlapping stuff do I already have that I can share with it? How available is it? Can I make the brass and reform it from something I already have on hand? Is it a caliber of bullet I already cast for? Do I have to get new molds? All that goes into whether or not I want a new gun of a specific cartridge. Mr. Paycheck Income, or Miss, I can't tell by the picture. How are you this afternoon? Good, excellent, glad to hear. Miss, okay, cool. Welcome aboard. You doing any shooting, reloading, etc. this weekend? Anybody else shooting this weekend? We had 2 people already shooting. 1 person just left to go shoot. I'm being a pussy and not going out into the rain, even though it's not raining yet. So, yeah, I'm doing indoor activities. When I finish here streaming, we gotta change the brass out in the tumbler. We gotta finish some laundry and some dishes and run the vacuum, take the dogs out, do all those fun things you love to do on your Saturday. Yep, 38 special and 357 reloads. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What powder are you using? What bullets? What you been working on? That's pretty exciting. Took the AR out for some fun before we get some snow. Where are you located, Mr. Deadfish Porter? What loads were you shooting? Were you just testing, or you wanted to just get in some mag dump trigger time? Just blow some rounds out. Using the tight group. Classic. Although if you're powder coating, if you're casting and powder coating, I don't know if you're aware, you could be. Tight group is one of the only powders that the community has noticed negatively reacts to the synthetic polymer powder coating jacket. Whether or not that matters when it's in a loaded case and only touching the base of the bullet, I don't think any of us have measured, but it's something to think about. Would it more easily allow flame cutting and, lead to leading? So many questions. Good to know, but I use it pretty quick. That's good. Yeah, that's only been... Ooh, that feels gross. What's stuck in that primer pocket? Oh, yeah, I'll just jam them up in there. Good as new. Sending it. Yeah, as long as you, load them and shoot them within a couple weeks, you'll not have any issues. But I think it was, over a 30+ day period is when I started noticing them getting sticky and kind of gooey and tacky and whatnot. I do have a playlist with all of that. I think just those 5 videos. But other people have done, more in-depth, different powder comparisons and whatnot. It'll shoot. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Just make sure it's flush. No worries. And then double check for powder there. Okay. All good. And we'll check him in a second, but I'm going to run the press to the upward position so I know that the function has been performed. There we go. Oh yeah, still right in there with the tolerances and the plus or minus like 30 thousandths. Yeah, looky there. That's what a nice round primer looks like that didn't get smashed. Matt, you're from Massachusetts, loaded up a pile of trash, shooting ammo, and needed to test it. Hell yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. We just basically picked a charge that's not showing pressure, and we're going with it. What powder do I use? It really depends on the load. For 38 special, I really love, I've been using a lot of Winchester 244 for ball powder, and I really enjoy 700X as a flake, but that's out of production right now. So we'll say 244 is my favorite. For 357 mag, probably H110 or Enforcer's a good one. I'm glad I'm not the only one who doesn't show primers any respect when priming. Yeah, stick them in there and do it. Load Enforcer, if you want a real hot round, that works. Fireballs with a 2-inch barrel. Yeah, although Enforcer was less firebally than H110 in my experience. Although Enforcer also saw pressure signs much sooner than H110. Like H110 you can work up, it's kind of weird, and then you hit pressure, like there it is, we're at the top. But the Enforcer, it seemed like It was soft, and then it was just like pressure from then on about halfway up the ladder. So H110, you start in the middle. Generally, you might be good. Don't take that as advice. Start from the bottom and work up. But Enforcer, it seemed like even the lower charges were quite pressurized. Be warned, it likes being in a pretty full case, otherwise Enforcer will cause wild pressure spikes on low charges. Maybe that, I didn't read the full comment. It causes spikes on low charges. So maybe that's what happened is I had lower end charges and I was like, wow, there's pressure here. HP 38, I hear that's a good pistol powder. Thorax using Unique and Bullseye in 38 Special. 357 using Accurate number 7 or HS6 or 2400. Thorax is over there bragging with all of his Alliant powders. He got to stockpile on before they basically quit producing them for the commercial market. But I don't know the full circle and umbrella of companies, but since Vista sold all the ammo to CSG, but I think they still have Alliant powders. I don't know. I don't know if Alliant is going to keep only feeding Vista brands for their ammunition or if they'll start putting out powder back on the consumer market. Sorry, words are hard. How's the pad coming? They freaking bailed on me. I called them at like 7 and, hey, when you guys showing up, I'll show you where to park and whatever and show them what's going on. And, oh yeah, we're looking at rain here soon, so we're going to have to reschedule next week sometime. I'll call you then. So no pad for today. No cement pad for today. Welcome back, CW. A double doctor treat. I don't know about that. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Scumbags, I told you, a storm of brewing. That's what the weather was saying, but let me look out the window here. It's definitely not raining. However, I don't want to take a chance with the cement pad after having to get the garage re-poured because of the crappy job they did on that. I'm going to wait till it's nice and fair weather and they can come out and they can cure for a nice week before I touch it. Now we just got to get CW on. It's supposed to be like that for weeks. Yeah, the silly ass groundhog came out and he was like, what's up? It's still winter time for 6 more weeks. So there's that. We can all look forward to that. At least we can look forward to that. It's almost 70 degrees last week. It's probably 65 right now. It dropped down to 40 overnight though. And then it's going to drop down into the 40s all week and rain. Anyways, it is what it is. I'll just work on brass and loading ammunitions. Now, CW could run with what to use in 38 Special and 357. Way beyond what I have experimented with. CW is a real version of the bad side. Yep, CW there. He is a wealth of knowledge. He probably knows. He's forgotten more than I know in my entirety. How about that? That's not saying he's forgetful. It says he's learned a lot of shit. There's a saying for that. I probably screwed it up, but long story short, he knows many things in regards to probably more things than just 2A stuff, but you know. Thor's what Rebel would call a Yoda. That's the damn truth. A true master ballistician. That's probably an accurate description. Probably an accurate description. Really nice here in West Virginia. Nice and sunny. What are you loading? Couldn't find those 55 pulled on Midwest. So they're not on Midway or Mid-South. You'll find them from Crash's comment, AR. Same place we get the powder. You'll find their M193 55 grain poles or blems or seconds. And generally the prices displayed is like 20 to 40% higher than it actually is once you put it in the cart. So yeah, it is a better deal than displayed. But even though 8 cents is pretty good, it's probably going to be better than that. But yes, check out AR. People used to say that about me with marksmanship. You must unlearn what you have learned. That's the other thing. Yeah, you got to forget everything you thought you knew to relearn how to do it the proper way. Kind of thing. It's crazy how much fundamentals just continue throughout whatever sport or hobby or interest you have. The fundamentals are still like 90% of it. Like marksmanship, it's probably most of the fundamentals go into like how you squeeze the trigger and with the pistol obviously grip it, and with a rifle same thing. How's your stance, how's your sight alignment, how's your grip, how's your recoil control. All of those are like day one fundamental things, and until you become that proficient on those things, then I will not become Yoda, right? Sounds like my whole life always trying to learn better. Yeah, that's me, because it's, when you're younger, you think you're invincible and you're right about everything, and oh, that one didn't get a primer. Gotta pull it back manually to feed it. Yeah, when you're young, you know everything and you're invincible. But now I realize, as I become an old man with gray hair on my chin, start to feel fat and old and weak, now that I'm entering that phase of my life, I realize I don't know shit. I don't know anything. I'm a layman. I don't have any formal education. I don't have any formal training, no accreditations, no I don't know. But yeah, there's always more to learn. At one point I thought I knew it all, but now I realize I know nothing. So that's pretty cool. All I know are the experiences that I've had. The 5 centimeter M193 sinker. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, they have a bunch of different varieties. Sometimes they'll be mix 55 and 62. Sometimes they'll be Yep. I'm an idiot and I didn't end the process in the up position. We almost did the thing again. Yeah, they have like 55 polls, 55 blends, 55 seconds, 55 mixed profiles. You know, you'll see several different options. And when you add them to cart, they're all different prices. They'll have different discounts based on what they've been sitting on, and so on and so forth. College is mainly indoctrination school. You should be happy. Oh yeah, fuck college. I definitely wasted a good 2 years of my life and a whole lot of money trying to go to college, but that yeah, I dropped out. It was not for me. Not my sort of environment. You must let go of thinking failure. Failure will lead to fear. Fear will lead to nervousness. Nervousness will lead to doubt and confidence. And that will lead to inaccuracy and marksmanship. Yeah. Yep. That's why I love range time. It's a great time to focus on breathing. People overlook the whole slow down and focus thing. I completely agree. We're all in a hurry to be the fastest, bestest operator, super elite sniper, night vision, level 4 plates, whatever the hell Hornady's trying to sell this year. That's all we're running with. And if you don't have that, you're a crappy shot. No, I like training on crappy equipment because when you get proficient and then you finally step up to nice equipment, it's like, wow. I know what I've been missing this whole time as far as like quality of life, upgrades and whatnot. But then it goes back to the fundamentals. You learned how to pull the trigger, you learned how to align the sights, and you were able to do that on a piece of shit high point clunker or whatever the case may be. Those skills transfer over to other platforms where you have an advantage, right? Right? Coffee break. Now it's 2-hour cold coffee. Yum, yum. You got into 8.6 blackout? No, sir. I don't have an AR-10 platform or really any desire. Although, I lied. I want a 308 AR-10 and that's it. I don't need to do all the other silly stuff. But no, I don't have a can. I don't have any need to shoot subsonic, super heavy things that are essentially what I can do with the 300 blackout, minus a little bit of weight. Those are probably bad arguments, but no AR-10 platform is my excuse. Although I really, really love 308, so I've got the M1A and I've got a bolt gun, and then I want to use all that extra brass I have. I've used it for 243. Now I would like to do a 260 Remington. What's another one? Like a 338 Federal. Get a bolt action for that. A 358 Winchester. Those would all be fun. A 708. I can do all those with my extra 308 brass. But I don't feel like doing 8.6 blackout or Creedmoor or any of those other things that use the same bolt face. Exactly with the crappy gear. I use my PSA dagger to piss off the high-speed guys in the lanes next to mine. I'm not even that good. I just know the fundamentals. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I paid more for the hollow sun on top of the dagger than the dagger costs, and all that together costs less than the Glock costs. So you can be pretty much high speed ready to go out the box for the cost of the Glock if you can deal with the name on the, on the piece of metal. Which to me, I'm not a brand snob at all. If it's within spec and it runs, perfect. If there's an issue, I've generally not had any issues ever with customer service from any company being like, nope, that's your fault. You just have to buy a new one. Generally they're going to try and warranty stuff or at least replace it at dealer cost or whatever below MSRP. Or just fix it entirely if their product's screwed up. So I don't care what name is on it. If it's within spec, I'm the biggest variable at play, right? Right? Learning the fundamentals, foundation, the do or not do, there is no try. Yeah, you either do it right or you don't, and then you have to figure out why it's not happening. Eliminate those problems and then do it, right? Figure it out and get it done. 338 Federal. See, that sounds like a really fun one, but it's an odd caliber. Not necessarily odd, but it's less popular, so I don't have a mold for it yet. So if I were to do a silly 308 cartridge, transformation or whatever, reshape some brass, it would probably be 358 Winchester, just because I've got 10 bullet molds for 38 357 style stuff. So I already have brass, and I would already have bullets, I already have primers, and I'm sure I already have powder. So I would just need a rifle and dies to pick up a 358 Winchester, right? So that's all the kind of weird crap I think of when I'm getting into a new cartridge. Like we were talking about earlier, does it share a bolt face I already have several of, so I have spare parts? Does it use brass I have access to? Or is it proprietary nonsense? Can I make the brass out of something I have on hand? Can I use a die I have on hand for a certain step? And then I only might need a full-length sizing die if I have a factory print die of that caliber, or if I have a seating die of that caliber, that'll work. You can figure out overlap in your gear and add to your setup for less than buying in at a brand new cartridge and having to pick every single thing up with, right? Patriot Paul, screw the fanboys. Yep. How are you today, sir? Welcome aboard. Doing any shooting? Thanks for the cheaper websites, really helps. Yeah, bro. Again, going back to I don't care about the name on the stuff. 5 cents a piece, $130 for 8 pounds of powder. I'm reloading my range ammo, not paying 50 cents a shot, right? And so while somebody would say, but it's not Vogget and it's not a burger bullet, I don't care at all for my purposes. So if you test your lot of stuff you have and it works and it does what you need it to, perfect. Who cares what's in it? That's why I don't understand why people are like, ew, Shooter's World powder. You use Shooter's World powder? That's for poor people. And then all of a sudden they're precision rifle powder with the red bottle. It's supposed to be their Varget clone. That is $75 now. It used to be like $20 less than a bottle of Varget. Now it's $20 more than a bottle of Varget. Powder check. Check the weight here. Spot check. Beep. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Speaking of brands and stuff, now that there's a lot of stuff in the industry coming off patent, like the patent expired, so it's now pretty much public domain. Sierra Match King bullets. Hornady just released their Arrow Match line this year. It's an exact copy of a Sierra Match King, but like 20% cheaper. And they say you literally keep your same data, your same seating die set up, and you buy their bullet, and now you have a Match King made by Hornady. And then same thing with the dagger and all your Glock clones. Those are available now because the patent ran out. Anyone can use the design. Anyone can use the design now, so it's public domain. It's not special. It's not proprietary. So who cares what brand makes it? They use the spec. If it hits the spec, then it works, right? Or, theoretically, it should be interchangeable. Right? Right? Or is this like complete dummy thinking here? It could be complete dummy thinking. Okay, hang on. I gotta empty the the ammunition receptacle. I didn't refill up our brass. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. Wow. Just lost half of them, but they're okay. Oh. Make a mess trying to clean up a mess. What an idiot. Those are the troublemakers. I want to see what's up with this bullet. I think I just didn't seat it was the problem. Yeah, 224 diameter. Pretty sure I just didn't run the handle up and seat that bullet. Whoops. Mr. Cody, welcome, sir. This cartridge is called the 223 Remington. Or 5.56, whatever you want to call it. Aha, the Hornady Sierra Match King. No, it's called the Arrow Match. Or Arrow King, or... They make it pretty obvious what it is. Like, they allude to it in the description, and they say it's your classic match bullet that everybody's been using for decades. But yes, it's a cheaper clone of that, if you're really into those. I use AmmoSeek for ammo, but not reloading. Used to live in commie state. Yeah, dude, they added a reloading section. I don't want to say it was this year or last year, but within the last few years, AmmoSeek added a reloading section. So you can just go primers, boom. You search small and exclude the word large, and then you'll find all the small pistol primers, or vice versa. You include the word large rifle, exclude small pistol. You'll see exactly what you need. It sorts by price, you know that. Or price per piece, or whatever you want it to sort by. Shit, we better refill our powder while we're here too. But we must leave the handle in the up position if we walk away. All right. All right. So yeah, look, I don't care what brand is on this. It costs like a half to a third of the Hodgdon equivalent. It's a funny story. I got two of these, one of two, and I took this jug and topped off the second jug. For whatever reason, in my dumb brain, maybe I thought I would have a little bit of this left and then that one would sit longer, but I feel like I'm gonna use more than is in jug one and still breaking the jug two. That's what I bought it for. I've been casting 55 grains out of the Lee mold, gas checking they work. You guys have any experience with casts? Yeah. Let me see here. You mean these? They're not gas checked. But these are pretty much linotype, so they're a fairly hard, probably 18 or so. VHN, pretty much pure linotype with some tin to make them flow better. I haven't had any luck really, but I also did very limited testing, so I'm pretty sure if I use a pistol length system and either a really fast burning powder, like something in like the CFE black or 1680 range with a pistol upper, I think these would work really well. You could find something silly like that to run a short pistol setup, or out of maybe a rifle length system, get a really slow gassy powder, or a carbine, just get like H335 or TAC or somewhere right in the middle, and hopefully one of those might work. I don't know. But I haven't tested it in probably 5 years. These have been sitting around for a long time. Yeah, they're linotype, so they're hard. You can see that they're only 52 grains. Did we drop out? It said I'm now live. Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Are we live? I see the chat moving. Hopefully we're there. I'll just blame YouTube. Hello there, Mr. Dale. I've already said hi, Dale. Hello, Dale. How you doing this weekend? Need to chrono, waiting for the Garmin copy. Yeah, that thing looks sick, and it's only going to be $299. Heck yeah. Or $399. I don't know, but it's going to be worth it to jump on that instead of the Garmin. They're going to disrupt that market a lot. 20 grains of $48.95 with that little 55 grainer. Interesting. So like I said, that's a slower burning powder with the starting-ish charge of that. So maybe it creates enough gas to cycle well. No leading issues. It seems like it was streaking jet like crazy. Yeah, I didn't have any leading when I did test them, but it looked like a shotgun pattern at 25 yards, and I had a lot of unburnt powder when I was trying H335, I believe it was. Dig the color on the powder coat. That was a mix of ruby red and the Ford blue. It gives it that kind of cool purpley red look. Have we checked Raven Rock Precision? Yep, that's where I got those 92 grain frangibles, I think. Black Friday, they were, I think, 3 or 4 cents a piece. So I got me a box of them. Not as bad as I thought. I think the checks help prevent leading. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it is using the gas check, which I'm not going to do because then it has a cost to it associated with it. When I can buy a blemished or pulled jacketed projectile for 4 cents, I'm not going to be gas checking a 22 caliber. Shot service rifle in match when it was a Republic of 30 caliber, back before the dark times, before that became the AR empire. That's funny. How the hell did you guys stand offhand and shoot the M1As and the very heavy service rifles? Out to what, 600 yards offhand? Powder track. We're good. Clear. I haven't had good accuracy with the 124 grain Spitzer gas check or powder coat in 300 blackout, kind of a shotgun pattern. What mold is that? 124 grains? That seems a little bit light for 300 blackout. I think the factory 300 blackout, like the 110s, those are only doing 2200 out of a 16-inch barrel. 120 might be doing 2K or 1800 or something. I really don't know. And those are at max pressure loads. So you're probably not moving very fast, but you have a lot of pressure. Is my uneducated guess based on the one sentence I just saw. Yeah, 124 grain 30 caliber. Who makes that? Must be like an NOE or someone else in there, maybe? An Arsenal? An MP, perhaps? I know it's not a Lee mold. I'm pretty sure I've got most of Lee's catalog for every caliber I load and cast for. That's why I love Enforcer for 300 black, 110 VMAX, just about 2200 inch barrel. Dang, son. That's actually pretty awesome. Have you tried it in a longer barrel, and was it a higher velocity? Because obviously you're getting your full powder burn through the 8 inches. So is there any gain with a longer barrel? That would be fun to know. My next silly upper though is going to be a 4-inch micro silly micro upper. Are you making more sinkers, Mr. Jimmy Slim? Welcome aboard, sir. Nope, we are doing the whole shebang right here. Yeah. Doing the whole, we're using the sinkers. We're putting in the little danger buttons, and then we gotta fill it with the angry sand. And then we seal it up with the sinker. And then we crimp him all up nice and tight. Nice and tight. Need some water in the throat, so dry. Coffee isn't great for long extended speaking sessions, by the way. You started at 200 yards. That was your offhand. It's pretty good at all. It's all about position and recoil. Move your feet in the direction where you want the bullet to go once you figure it out. That makes a lot of sense. Kind of how you have to, square up to your target with your feet and your shoulders instead of being offset or whatever. You can kind of get an athletic sort of stance, but obviously, your feet tell you where you're pointing. I've not. I'd love to try it. 0.3 off the book max. Danger buttons, angry sand, and sinkers. Yes, we're training their AI, or hopefully obfuscating. We're making it harder for them to know what we're saying when we can obfuscate. Obfuscate. Why can't I say that damn word? Anyways, we're trying to make it hard for the computers to chase us. It becomes natural. Your body's a big shock absorber. Same thing, sitting in prone position is everything. Gotta go plink with the kids and test some 300 black loads. If you guys are still a bit back. All right, Cody, have a good one, sir. Be safe out there. At least you know what I'm saying, Crash. You know the point I'm trying to get across. My small brain can't form the word, but I know the meaning of it, and I'm using it in a way that conveys that meaning. I just can't say anti-disestablishmentarianism as well as I would like to. This is fun. Hey man, the tracking AI must not show the path. Dude, it's so funny. I don't know if any of you guys have channels, but if you go to the YouTube Studio on the desktop, you log in on your computer, you go to YouTube Studio, and you go to your content and analytics or some shit. There's a new tab called Inspiration or something, and AI generates a bunch of like topics and prompts, and it'll give you a thumbnail and do the whole damn thing for you. And they have absolutely no grasp on what any of this is, and it is freaking hilarious. It's the funniest shit ever. I kind of want to make a video just about how retarded their AI is, because if it's that bad trying to generate content, it's that bad trying to moderate our content as well. I think if you look back on my like a couple live streams ago, you'll see the thumbnail, and I forget what I typed in for it to generate that. I think it was just like measuring out gunpowder or something like that, and that's the thumbnail it gave me. And you'll see how ridiculous it is. Like it might sort of resemble what's going on, but when you know what's supposed to be happening, it's like a cartoon. It's just way off. Very funny. I think I need to make a video just about how retarded the AI is. Do they know that I said retarded just then, though? Probably can't say that word. You guys remember like 15 years ago when the internet was cool? The internet used to be a really cool place. Powder jack. Okay, got him. That Google AI, it shows they aren't that far along. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously close, but I think it also can't produce the content because it's been told that guns are bad and that they can't show what it really is. So I think it might know what it is, but it's trying to not show what it really is. Trump says retarded. It's good to go. Perfect. I can't say the F word though. Not fuck. I'm not talking about fuck. But the other F word that offends part of the alphabet people. You can't say that one. Every shot that is 30 cal is harder because of recoil. A good AR guy does not make a good M1 or M1A guy. It's about recoil. That's why people shoot higher scores than they are. Definitely, I 100% would not doubt that at all. Just the ability to stay on top, or stay on target, follow through, all that fun stuff. It's not going to throw you off balance. You'll have better position management and all that good stuff. I miss the Wild West days of the internet. Finding forums and areas of interest felt so much more special, for a lack of a better word. Yeah, true. The programmers' leanings always show through in AI. So speaking of programmers and AI and their leanings, like I don't play video games anymore, but I still like follow some of the streamers or people that I used to watch, and just some of the gaming news or whatever in the industry. And they're going through such a DEI clusterfuck retard, like all of it, just the monetization and the developing, the storylines, the characters. It's just so ridiculous and overdone and over the top and funded by BlackRock, and it's just freaking ridiculous. And I haven't bought a game since they put freaking map packs on the first Call of Duty. I was like, no, I already gave you my $60. I'm not buying more maps that should have shipped with my completed game. And from then on, I never bought any DLC, never bought anything other than maybe the expansion that would have came out naturally for some of the stuff. But no map packs, no stinking cosmetic bullshit. All that stuff is retarded. Gotta download Fallout or COD so we can play games. Chat unmoderated. So I'll admit, the one game I have installed on my computer right now is Diablo 2 Resurrected. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft and Diablo 2 before that. So I thought I'd try out the remastered version of Diablo 2. And it's a lot of fun. Well, I don't have time for it anymore, but when I do, if I have an hour to sit down, that would be my game of choice these days. Is a freaking 25-year-old 2D side-scrolling, top-down isometric view with 4 buttons. Been playing the same game for almost 10 years, just a fun zombie survival shooter. Yep, yeah. Yep, I think I don't know how old you guys are, but I just turned 37, so I'm basically grew up in the 90s or whatever. So you guys know where I'm coming from. And yeah, all the games we still like are from that time period. There's been nothing new since Halo 2 came out. They've all just been remakes and remasters and redos, and Resident Evil 17, and download the new skins and the bikini and the new cover and the new graphical upgrade with the big jiggly titties. That's the kind of shit that the video game industry turned into. I really like your chats, Dummy. This is fun and informative. You cover a lot of price and components, where to buy, and what I get. It's a service you do. Hey, I appreciate you appreciating it. That's fun. I don't have a lot of input that's actually useful, but I try to share what I do know, at least. I think we were talking about it last night, how you get kind of lost in the sauce and you want to try and start selling crap and, being like the voice of that people go to for your opinion on shit. And I don't want to be that guy. I just started the channel because I was like, I'm kind of new to reloading, but I kind of know stuff. I'm sure other new reloaders are going to have similar questions. How can I share what I know? So that was the original goal, and it just morphed into some kind of retarded, obfuscated mess over the past couple of years. And now we're just here doing live streams talking about angry sand and danger buttons. RCBS 82002-130. It's RCBS. I think I was looking at that mold, and I was like, that seems nice, but it would probably be moving too quickly, and it would be probably You just listen to 308 for the equal reasons. Mm-hmm. 62, Dale, you're 62, brother. Welcome aboard. I feel old, but so how do you feel about video games, Paul or Dale? Sorry. But I feel like there's been, like, if you followed the video game crap over the last 4 years at least with all the DEI nonsense, that's like an entire analog for the entire world. Like whatever happened in that space with the investors and the backing and the total takeover of the thought process and the message. Yeah, the video game industry is like essentially the epitome of all of that. So long story short, I can't say the F word on the internet anymore because it offends the stupid furry alphabet retards. "33, a young feller there. Typically, is a slower or faster angry sand better for self-defense?" So for pistols, right? You're gonna, depending on your barrel length, you'll probably want a faster burning powder to make sure that you get the full burn of that powder and you're not wasting energy outside the barrel, thus losing velocity. So you're going to want a fast enough powder to get a full burn in whatever barrel you're using, but you want a slow enough powder to not burn out in the first third of the barrel and keep producing pressure as it moves to gain velocity at the same time. If that makes any sense. Generally, you can just look at the load manual and you'll see, like, they'll list the maximum charges and highlight them and say this is the maximum charge. You can find one or see where the velocities line up. A faster burning powder will take less powder to achieve the velocity and pressure than a slower burning powder will take to achieve the same velocity and potentially pressure. You don't advocate sales. I love that. Channel's about shoot and reload. What you got? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay in my lane. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just here to hang out and do what I'm doing. You must watch Asmongold. Yeah, every once in a while he shows up on my feed. Saw a clip about DEI ruined video games. Yeah, it's probably. I haven't seen that video you're talking about, but several related to it and leading up to that. Slower than Magnum. Magnum is rifles. Yeah, yes. Haven't played video games since my kids were kids. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I was saying, I don't have an itch to play them anymore. It's not like, back in school, oh man, I can't wait to get home and play for 4 hours straight and actually make it 6 and we'll just stay up past midnight and then I won't get any sleep and go to school and sleep in class. And I don't miss any of that shit. I don't miss when is the next realm reset? When's the next patch update? Like, setting time out of your real life to dive into and become completely engulfed in a fake reality. It's not very productive. Not very productive. And I can say that from experience. I just said I was a World of Warcraft player. That's not something you do for a month. That's like a years-long relationship you have there. But yeah, I have no interest in wasting that much time on any of that stuff anymore. You also leave a bad taste in the mouth of the intergalactic secret society of warfighters of the universe. That isn't what reloading is about. I'm sorry. Can't please them all. Spend my time reloading. Yep, this is my main hobby now. If I'm not pulling on this handle to make those, then I'm pulling on this other handle over here to prep the brass to get it ready to make those. So, and then the testing and the shooting part, that's the actual hobby, right? That's the actual hobby, is shooting. Reloading is just the extension of that, and then casting is the further extension of that. Powder check. Clear. So yeah, everybody needs to basically buy more guns and shoot more and reload more and participate more in freedom. Ooh, I got a boogie. Maybe this is what happened on one of those. This bullet got pulled and it is now deformed. Maybe that's what happened on one of those earlier. Wow, look at that. 228 diameter. And then way down. Whee! That's what you call out of concentricity. Definitely smooshed. So I guess this is what you get when you buy seconds and pulled projectiles. Part of that is waste. So far, I'm out 3 cents. I agree, not productive at all. I think better spent elsewhere, but it's nice to chat with buddies playing every once in a while. Yep, I agree. I mean, I'm not going to tell people how to spend their time, but myself personally, I have found much better ways to spend my time. Especially like another part, I know some of you guys don't have any idea of what we're talking about here, but with like the battle passes and the season packs and whatever, it forces you to be there every day and put in a minimum amount of time and effort. And you have to log on and complete this quest, and you have to run across the map and turn this thing in every single day for 30 days, or you lose the big treasure at the end. And by the way, you had to pay to start this program once a month or every 6 months on top of the normal fee you paid for the game. So you're heavily monetarily invested in this shit, and then they just take all your time because you wasted your money, and you go through this sunk cost fallacy along with the money you dumped into it. Mr. Tactical Fud, welcome aboard, sir. You came into a fun part of the conversation. Well, yeah. Anyways, video games these days are shit. Don't waste your time. That's all I have to say about that. And she smelled like cigarettes. Anyways, long story short, go to the gym and reload ammo. Don't play video games. Go to the gym, reload ammo, pay attention while you're reloading ammo. And get off the video games. How about that? I did start going to the gym recently again. I'm gonna go tonight. It's gonna be sick. I feel so much better when I'm working out. Like I would rather my muscles be sore than my skeletal structure, and just feel fatigued all the time, because when you lay around and you don't do shit, your metabolism also doesn't do shit. So you have to create energy if you want energy. You have it stored in your system. You just have to activate it. And if you're like me, or many Americans who have eaten the trash that we've been fed forever, I briefly mentioned, they make sure all that energy and fat packs on and sticks to you. So if you're like me, you've got plenty of that stored away. Oh geez, no way. I bought my game for $15 and it's been in development for 10 years and now is released on 3 platforms. What game's that? It sounds like they actually did stuff. Sounds like our last chat when you were touching a bunch of weenies above the campfire. Sir, I just ramble of whatever thought comes into my mind with whatever limited filter I can try to apply to it to not get banned is what comes out of my mouth. Which is silly because I feel like the whole cancel culture thing has done a complete 180, and the old cancelers, you know, that side, they don't have any power to cancel anybody anymore. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody trusts what they have to say. So that's cool. I'm not worried about that. But I just can't say the stuff on YouTube. Because it's owned by the people that you can't criticize. So, if you follow that trail, we can say lots of stuff as long as it's not about them. 7 Days to Die. I feel like I've heard of that. I have no idea. Has tons of mods and complete support. That's pretty cool. I do have Steam, but I haven't downloaded or bought a game on it in years. It's probably on Steam, right? We shall not speak the name. Ah, so you've noticed it as well. Patriot Paul knows what I'm talking about. The name that must not be named. I bet the name you're thinking of starts with a J. Rhymes with you. Oh, it's also... So you know how the Martin Luther King documents and all that were released, right? Do I want to start going down this rabbit hole? It'll probably lead me to where I was just saying I can't say stuff. Anyways, Martin Luther King had some handlers, they call it. Some CIA assets were his handlers, his mentors, whatever you call it, his playwriters. If you look up their names, if you look up the name of those gentlemen on Wikipedia, and you go to the early life section of any individual, you'll notice a pattern of their ancestry. And if you go from there, you can connect some dots. And long story short, can't talk about stuff. Started games on Doom, CS1.6, and Half-Life. Yes, sir, that's what I'm talking about. We had, back in high school, in one of my like half the day when I was a senior, we got to go to this alternative school, and I was in the computer programming nerd class, right? But most of that consisted of us learning how to build a LAN, a network, and then we just played Call of Duty all day the whole year once we figured out how to set up the network. So sorry, we were playing Counter-Strike 1.6, not the first Call of Duty. That was the next year or the year before, somewhere in there. First flight of high threats, illegals arriving going on today. Just want to Breitbart. That's funny. The more we learn on the inside, it's insane. Like the NASA sparring scores and Operation Paperclip. Man, we're getting tinfoily in here, which is fine with me. Which one should we talk about? There's just so many good ones, and it's so funny that they're not theories anymore. It's not a conspiracy. It's here's events that happened and were documented in real life. Oh, and by the way, everything you've been told since 1943, actually since before then, in the probably before shit. The further I go back in history, it still points back at the same group for every single event. This stream has ended. We're getting close. I can feel it. We're getting close. I can feel it. Oh well. It's fun though. I enjoy it. Whatever you do, don't go look at my Twitter replies and stuff. Sorry, my ex quotes and posts and whatever. Well, what other fun topics should we discuss? Is anybody going to not, pay the IRS this year based on all of our tax dollars going to U.S. aid, which actually didn't go anywhere except underwater transgender basket weaving theory? We learned how to do rain dances in the Congo and some DEI projects. And so since we've been using all of our tax dollars on that, I don't think I want to fund a whole lot of that anymore. So hopefully here in the next, before April, whenever the tax deadline is, they just say, you know what, guys, we're just not even worried about it. Don't file. In fact, we're going to send everybody probably a couple $1 million just based on the billions that they've stole every single year for eternity. Oh boy. I like the guy who jumped out of the plane with all the money up by Thor's axe. The only guy never caught by the Alphabet Boys. Isn't it weird how things happen like that? Or how, like, I don't know. I could name some examples, but there are no coincidences. How about that? Everything is planned. There's always something behind it, pushing it in that direction. There's a force leading things. So on and so forth. DB Cooper, I found an interesting Wikipedia. We are about out of primers here, so we're going to wrap it up after this. I got to go walk the dogs and finish my chores and laundry and stuff. So after we run out of primers here, we're going to get off for now, but probably be back on later, I'm thinking. Just a random guess. I need to go read about Dan Cooper. Sounds familiar. All the Kennedy stuff is whitewashed. Yeah, that's definitely for sure. There was a documentary I was linked to. I didn't get to watch it. I think it's actually on YouTube. I think it's called AFK to 9/11 or something like that. And it looks really good. So perhaps look into that one. If you have 12 hours, which even if you don't, you need to make the time, go find and watch Europa: The Last Battle. That's probably the most important one. And then you're going to have to go to GTV Flyers and go to the Red Pill section and watch all of those videos. And then we can have some more discussions after that. Oh, shoot. So what's that mean? We got about 5 or 6 more here. Chip Aquatic. I'll have to look into that. I like rabbit holes because it's really funny that they all circle back and all the rabbit holes lead into the same nest and tunnel system. They're all intertwined. Few more. Wow, it's already 3:30. I guess I started later than I wanted to. But yeah, we might get on tonight, fellers. Obviously, I still have more to load, so still more to load, so we'll be back for that. And all out of primers. There we go. Last one. The early warning buzzer. Yep, they're telling me it's time to go. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. All right. Anyways, fellers, thanks for joining. I'll be back on tonight. I'm pretty sure it'll probably be later again, probably like 11 or midnight central. I got another box of Projos to load still, so we'll be chugging along. See you guys later. Have a good one.